talking about Kamala Harris. Some people might think she slept her way up the ladder or slept her way to the top. I think it's completely ridiculous. I don't think that makes me a liberal to think that. Just because she's a woman and she might have had sex with a man who was married 30 years ago, to suggest that she slept her way to the top because of that, I think is insane.
And
but
again,
we want to hear from you.
It wasn't just having sex; it was an ongoing relationship.
Okay, well, we disagree.
She was considered Willie Brown's "quote-unquote" new girlfriend, and that, again, this is directly from an article, USAtoday.com, which has a larger platform than we do for the time being. Now it's going to change soon, though.
So show me. So they're suggesting in USA Today that she slept her way to the top. Did they say that?
No, they're just describing the details of Willie Brown and Kamala Harris' relationship.
Gotcha. But they didn't say she slept. They didn't suggest that she slept her way to the top. Then did they?
Like in actually, that quote?
Yes.
No.
Okay, that's very important. All right, let's go to our phone calls now.
But people, they read something like that and they go, okay, so this person dated this person, and this person was not in power at that time. The other person was, and then the other person gave that person recommendations over the course of her career.
So
and,
do you think
this person was married and this person was young? I mean, people make their own assumptions.
So
based
do you
on
think?
That. That's all I'm saying.
So what's your assumption?
USA Today did not have a title that says "quote unquote" Did Kamala Harris sleep her way to the top?
Do you think she slept her way to the top?
Do I think she slept her way to the top?
Yes.
I think that she was in a relationship with a very powerful man, and that man helped her career.
So you think she slept with him and helped her get to where she is today?
And that man at the time was married. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
So you believe
that's my response, Brian. It stops there.
So there's no yes or no. Do you think she slept her way to the top?
I think that she was in. I'll say it again. She was in a relationship with a very powerful man, and that powerful man helped influence her career. In a positive direction.
Okay, so yes, then.
That's all I'm
that's
saying.
A yes.
That isn't yes. It's not a no.
Okay, so you're not going to answer yes or no.
It's a here's the scenario, but does that necessarily mean that she slept her way to the top? No, it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean that. But can I say that Willie Brown did not, a former lover of hers, can I say that Willie Brown, a former lover, did not positively influence her career? No, I can't say that.
Okay, well, there's a lot of people that influence people's careers, and it doesn't have anything to do with sex, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they slept their way to the top. Let's take some phone calls, busy lines at 257-5396. Let's go with Keith. Keith, you're next up in the Vegas take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Keith?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Doing well.
I just want to put this out to JD and an analogy on how ridiculous this may sound. Say if you, JD, 30 years ago, you had a sexual relationship with a radio executive. Would you be offended if somebody said, well, JD slept his way to the top of radio? How ridiculous does that sound to you?
Well, if I had a sexual relationship with a radio executive and that radio executive gave me a recommendation to a major network and another recommendation over the course, and several recommendations over the course of my career, and those recommendations because of that particular person, helped my career or furthered my career in a positive way, then I wouldn't think it's ridiculous at all.
30 years ago.
To assume something like that.
30 years ago, you wouldn't be offended about that.
What, at the time or now?
Well, the only thing you would have to answer to today would be your wife.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Keith, I think I understand where you're going, Keith.
Yeah, I got you.
702.
Yeah, good call, Keith.
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Joe. Joe is next on the Vegas take. What's up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Hey, great show, guys. Great debate. You guys have a phenomenal show. Let me tell
Thank you.
I'm an independent. Oh, you're welcome. I'm an independent. I vote probably 40% Democrat, 60% Republican. But you guys are missing the issue. It's naive to think that this is not going to be brought up. I don't think Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. I don't think most people will think that. But it's going to be an issue. It's going to be brought up. And it's naive to think that she's not going to have to respond to it.
So can I respond to that, Joe? I don't think there is one legitimate journalist that will bring that up. It won't be brought up in a debate, vice presidential debate. It won't be brought up by any legitimate news source. Now, if Kamala Harris decides to go on OAN or InfoWars, I agree with you. It probably will be brought up. But you could not – I don't even think they'd bring it up on Fox News. I don't think there's one legitimate journalist doing an interview with Kamala Harris that would say, you know, Kamala, there's rumors circulating that you had this sexual relationship 30 years ago with the former mayor of San Francisco. Do you think it helped your career? I can tell you right now, no legitimate journalist will do that.
Okay, that's a naive response because it's been brought up to USAtoday.com right now.
Nobody suggested there's a difference, Joe. There's a difference between bringing it up and claiming that she slept her way to the top. Do you not understand the distinction? USA Today did not suggest that she slept her way to the top.
The slept your way to the top thing is a conclusion based on circumstances. And that's what people are going to assume themselves. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But what they will bring up most likely is the circumstances. And then if they want to make their own over the top conclusions based on that, they can. But the people are going to decide that for themselves, Brian.
257-5396 number to call. Let's go to L. L is next on the Vegas Take. L, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, L?
Good morning, guys. Oh my God, JD, this party, is there a low for you? Is there any way low? Can you go any lower? Now, if you talk about a man with this is one thing, but you're typically, when you say something like that about a woman, you're basically calling her a whore. It's so unfair. It's so low. And if you didn't believe it, you wouldn't have brought it up. And about Joe Biden, all the horrible things you're saying about, just think about this. He doesn't know he's alive. People are holding him up. And you're talking about somebody who's leading in the polls double digits. So what does that tell you about Donald Trump? I think Daffy Duck could probably beat him. But, JD, try to think before you defame people. You are horrible with this, and it's very disappointing. But
hey, Al, I did not defame anyone. Everything I said you can find on the usatoday.com article. It's all there.
It doesn't matter. You didn't have to bring it up if you didn't believe it.
Okay, well that's not defaming anyone. Talking about something that's on usatoday.com and has been confirmed by Willie Brown is not defaming anyone. I'm not making anything up at all. I'm just bringing it up, and all I'm saying is that it's going to be brought up when she's confirmed as vice president. And I didn't say that Biden doesn't know. I didn't say Biden doesn't know where he is. Biden knows where he is.
All right, let's let Elle respond. Go ahead, Elle. Go ahead, Elle.
Good.
Elle, go ahead. Did we lose Elle? I think we lost Elle. Okay, but important to note once again that you suggested that people think that maybe not you, but people think that she slept her way up the ladder.
Yeah. I think,
okay, hold on. Let me just finish my.
We'll think that nationwide.
Okay,
and that article and the details of that article are going to be brought up if she's confirmed as vice president candidate for Joe Biden.
Okay, so you didn't let me.
I don't know how that's unrealistic.
You didn't let me finish my statement. You brought that up. USA Today did not bring that up. There was nothing in that article in USA Today that suggested that she slept her way to the top or used that type of verbiage. I think that's very important. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry is next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
What's up, Jerry?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, doing well.
I want to say that JD is something wrong with him, but I got to say this. Looking at how she supposedly slept her way to the top, the woman is brilliant. That's the first thing. And you're going to have people that are constantly jealous of a woman like this. The second thing, the guy that just died, they're not talking about him. He went to that Tulsa, Oklahoma, was at the rally.
Herman Cain? Yeah.
Herman Cain, and boom, he's gone now. So that tells you right there, that's what they should be talking about. And they're not even mentioning it. That's pretty interesting. Okay.
All right, I appreciate the phone call, Jerry. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Jerry.
257-5396 is the number to call.
As far as the Herman Cain death, it's a complete tragedy. 74 years old, looked to be in actually pretty good shape. Rocket scientist, brilliant businessman, was a Trump supporter, was anti-mask. I said myself multiple times that I would not have attended that Tulsa rally because it was indoors. I would have attended, but I am curious, the people he was sitting next to in that rally, did they both get the virus or not?
So we're talking about Kamala Harris.
I didn't get a chance to comment on Cain.
I know. I'm just resetting what we're actually talking about. Kamala Harris, did she sleep her way to the top? I think anyone who thinks that way is misogynistic. I think it's absurd. JD says that it'll come up. I don't know if JD believes that or not. He's insinuating that he might believe that, but I'm just trying to get his complete thoughts on it. He says that it's legitimate to bring it up, and I'm saying I don't think it is at all. That's what I'm understanding what he's saying. 702-257-5396, the number to call. Why don't we go to Brian? Brian is next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Going well.
I've been listening to you guys' show for a while. First time I actually called, but I wanted to bring up to JD. Where does it actually show in that article that she actually had sex with Willie Brown?
Yeah, it says, Willie Brown confirmed, I think it's towards the top of the article, that they had a sexual relationship, yeah.
No, it said that they actually dated, but it never said anywhere that they actually had sex. So you're implying that they had sex just because they dated. Is that correct?
Okay. That they dated, they didn't have a sexual relationship. What do you want me to say about that?
So you're implying that she slept away the top just because they dated? Said nowhere in there that they actually had sex. So, I mean, you don't really have to be having sex to date, do you?
That's true. A lot of women date me and don't have sex with me. So you're absolutely right, Brian.
Yeah,
no,
okay,
I mean, I
Brian.
think so. You don't think what Brian is saying has any legitimacy at all? Just because somebody dates doesn't mean they had sex. I don't know if they had sex. Do you? USA Today doesn't know. He never said they had sex. She never said they had sex. Why should we laugh and assume that they had sex? You're just laughing? I don't
Let's
understand.
go to the next caller, Brian.
So you don't want to respond to him. Okay. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. For the record, Brian, I think that is a fair question to ask. 257-5396. Why don't we go to James? James, you are next on the Vegas Take. What's going on, James?
Hello?
What's up, James?
What's up, James?
Hey, well, here's my thing is,
Sorry about that, James. We had to get rid of Brian. James, go ahead. James, do we still have you?
yeah, I'm right here.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, my thing is, if a man or a woman sleeps their way to the top is more of a matter of opinion than a fact.
Agree.
So it really doesn't matter. But what I don't like about Biden, what he's doing, he's pandering to people. How do you put out? It's almost like a help wanted ad. Wanted, woman of color. If he said, "Hey, I'm going to pick a vice president, and you'll know who it is when I make my choice," but he puts it out, I'm gonna choose a woman of color. So it's almost like he made a commitment.
Well, I agree with you there, James.
Regardless if he
I agree.
qualified
I
or not,
agree.
it's stupid.
James, I don't think publicly he should have said that. I think
It's pandering.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I didn't like it when he said that either. But I do think, with that being said, picking a woman of color is probably a good choice if he wants to win the election. 257-5396. Of course, we're talking about Kamala Harris. Why don't we go to, well, we got full lines here. Let's go to Dennis. Dennis, you are next on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Dennis?
How's it going, guys?
What's
How
up,
are you
man?
guys
Well,
today?
Good.
Hey, I got just a quick point here. This is absurd, number one, that we're talking about, people's personal lives. And I get it. It's politicized, and it's been politicized for years and years and years. But, Brian, I've got to side with JD here, because let me put it to you this way. When Kavanaugh, when everything came up with Kavanaugh, all of a sudden 1 + 1 is 2. But now with Kamala Harris, when
Do you
1
know
+
what my
1 is 2,
opinions
you
were?
want to deny it.
Sir, what were my opinions on Kavanaugh? Do you know what my
No,
opinion?
I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm
Well,
saying
you
in
just
general.
mentioned my name, so why did you mention my name then?
No. I said, Brian,
Yes.
when the Kavanaugh case was being heard,
Sure.
when Kavanaugh was blowing up all over the news,
Sure.
everyone was coming to
And
all
let me
of it,
repeat
and
it once
something
again.
then.
And let me repeat it once again so you and other people can understand. Brett Kavanaugh was accused of rape. There is a difference between being accused of rape and somebody having a relationship which we don't even know was sexual but consensual. Kamala Harris was never accused of rape or assault. Do you not understand the difference in the seriousness of the nature of rape and somebody having just a regular relationship? Do you not understand the difference? What part of that do you not understand?
Wait, first of all, I understand. I get your point.
Then
I
why?
get your point,
Okay,
Brian.
I'm glad you do. Thank you.
I get your point, but you have to admit that there's hypocrisy on both sides.
Okay,
There's
saying that
when
there
you
is, hold on. I talk about this on the show all the time. There is hypocrisy on both sides. But saying there is hypocrisy on both sides and then trying to compare what Democrats did to a man accused of rape and Kamala Harris, who might have had a sexual relationship with a married man 30 years ago, are two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. I appreciate the call, Dennis, but you got to come stronger
good
than
call,
that, my
Dennis.
man. 257-5396. Bob is next on the Vegas Take. Bob, what's going on?
What's up, Bob?
Hey guys, I just calling to inquire. Don't you think she's already answered to this as they vet their potential vice president?
Absolutely.
I think they're looking into it to see how damaging it could be.
I don't even
She's
think.
already answered
Well, Bob, she might have already answered it, but I doubt it because I don't think it's very important. I really don't. I don't think anyone brought it up. I really don't.
I don't care either.
Yeah.
But my point is, as each political party goes to character assassinate the other, it's going to come up. And it probably already has. They're looking at damage control right now.
Yeah, I don't think this is a big deal at all, and I don't think there's any damage control. That's just my opinion, Bob. If she was accused of sexual assault or rape or something that was against the law, like a Bill Clinton, like a Donald Trump, even an Anthony Weiner situation, sending naked pictures to an underage girl, that is what I call a scandal. Having a relationship that is consensual, that might have been sexual 30 years ago in nature, to me is not a scandal. That's just my opinion, Bob.
I agree.
I appreciate your call, Bob. Thank you. I got to get to some other callers here. 257-5396. Patty is next. Patty, what's going on, man?
What's up, Patty?
What's up? I love your guys' channel.
Thank you.
I have a question for Brian.
Okay.
How could you guys think that it won't be brought up? It's the presidential election.
So you think? Okay. So let's talk about that.
Everything
Patty.
is going to be brought up.
So
the smallest of things are going to be brought up.
You see, when somebody addresses me with a question, JD, you answer it too. So we're
both
both guilty.
I agreed with her.
Okay, so we're both guilty of that. Patty, so do you think it'll be brought up in the vice presidential debate?
Absolutely.
So you're telling me, let's go with this for a second. The moderator in the vice presidential debate, in one of the questions with the world watching, is going to say, Kamala Harris, it's rumored that you might have slept your way to the top because you had a relationship with a mayor 30 years ago. Can you please answer to that? Patty, it is your opinion that you think the moderator in the vice presidential debate is going to ask a question like that? Is that your opinion?
The opponent will be brought up.
That's not what I asked you. You're saying that the moderator will ask and question Kamala Harris whether she slept her way to the top in a vice presidential debate.
Brian, you keep adding this term "slept her way to the top." All I've talked about is
slept her way up the ladder. Is what you said.
These different circumstances. Now you can use that. Do I think that Chris Wallace or whoever's the moderator is going to use that term? No, but I think that a question revolving around that situation will be asked.
Maybe by OAN,
as it probably should be, because she has a very good chance of being the first female sitting president of the United States if she is elected president. And Joe Biden doesn't have to die. He just has to prove that he's mentally incapable of doing the job, which is the most important job in the entire world.
Okay, well, I disagree with you. I don't think it's important for somebody to. I don't think it's important in a vice presidential debate.
Thank you for the call, by the way.
For somebody to bring up the possibility that Kamala Harris might have slept her way up the ladder, as you said. I think it's absurd. It's ridiculous, and a possible sexual relationship that had 30 years ago. Let's go to Marge.
Brian, do you think that they had sex?
I have no idea.
No. Do you think that?
I don't know.
Do you think that Willie Brown and Kamala Harris, if they dated, if they were seen constantly at parties,
Sure, I'll answer
do you
that.
think that they had sex?
I'll answer it in two different ways. You ready for this?
Yep.
I don't know, and I don't care.
Okay.
257.
So why are we?
257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go. Well, apparently, by your standards, a lot of people do care. Let's go to Marge.
Splitting hairs here. Brian.
Let's go to Marge. Marge, you're next on the Vegas Take. Marge, what's going on?
What's up, Marge?
I really liked your two answers, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know and I don't care. But JD brought it up, so he cares. I don't care.
I know.
Well, a caller brought it up and said that it didn't explicitly or specifically say that they had a sexual relationship, that they just dated. Right. So the question is, if you date for an extended period of time, are you going to have a sexual relationship?
Marge,
that's a whole different conversation.
Marge, as a woman, how do you feel about this?
Well, and I was going to bring that up because women are always held to higher standard relative to things like this.
Which is unfair.
I know, but that's the way the world evolves. But the other thing is that when they were together and they were really open. I mean, they attended different social events and everything else. Their pictures in the newspaper. He was separated from his wife to begin with. Okay,
right.
They were only together for a couple of years. Yes, maybe he gave her a little bit of assistance early on, but when you look at when she ran for attorney general for California, she won that twice. She did it on her own. He was nowhere to be found that I know of.
Agree.
Okay?
Agree. And that's a very good point. Yep.
So I think that the latter part of her career, I mean, she's really made her own strides. She's established her own agenda. She stood on her own 2 feet. You've got to give her credit for that. But unfortunately, yes, and you're right. I mean, this is a presidential election. Everybody's worried about Mr. Biden. So they're going to look to her, and they're going to put everything that they can through the mud, basically. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be a very, very bad situation for everybody concerned.
Absolutely.
But for something like this, if she had stolen something, if she had killed somebody, yes, and if she had raped a man, of all things,
right?
Yeah, I
that's a scandal.
I would say yeah.
Yeah, that's a scandal.
But not
right?
this.
Marge, we are in complete agreement, and always good to hear from you. I appreciate the phone call.
Marge.
257-5396 is the number to call. Why don't we go to Jason? Jason, you are next on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Jason? Great name.
Thank you. What I'm kind of confused about is the relevance of this whole conversation. Can she govern? It should be the question. Is she capable of filling the position of vice president?
Right.
Everything else is irrelevant. Who she sleeps with is irrelevant. Can she do the job? That should be the question.
I agree with you, Jason, 150%, as you know, but I do believe in the case of Donald Trump, when you have 25-plus women that have accused a man or woman of sexual assault or rape, I do think that is at the level of relevance. Would you agree with that?
absolutely. But we have to
Did we lose Jason?
cited or charged.
Yeah.
With,
Jason,
we keep getting distracted by things that are not relevant for regular, everyday Americans like myself.
Well, I agree with you, Jason. You know what my concerns are? Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they don't necessarily see eye to eye when it comes to race relations in this country. They got into it with each other on the political debate stage. Those are the questions I would ask Kamala Harris. Those are the questions that I would want to know. I would want to talk to Kamala Harris about why she put so many people behind bars for minor drug violations. I don't give a crap who she had sex with 30 years ago. I want to talk to her about policy. I'd ask Joe Biden about those situations that they had on stage. To me, that's important here, right? Republican or Democrat. Isn't that what's important? Not who she may or may not have slept with 30 years ago. 257-5396. Let's go to Don. Don is next on the Vegas Take. Don, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Don?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing well.
Hey, Brian, just reaching out that I believe words matter, legacies matter, history matters, and reaching back to Brett Kavanaugh, you keep saying that he was alleged to be a rapist.
He was accused of rape. That is correct, sir. Yes, that's factually accurate.
But that is not factually accurate. Her story specifically states what she recalls that he did, and rape wasn't it. You could say
sexual assault. Would you like me to bring it down to sexual assault? Here's the point I'm trying to make, Don. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not even saying Brett Kavanaugh's guilty, or I think he's guilty. Here's the point I'm trying to make. To respond by saying, and I don't know if you're doing this or not, that somebody who is accused of sexual assault is the same thing as somebody who might have had a consensual sexual relationship 30 years ago. You cannot compare the two. That is my only point in what I'm trying to say. Whether you want to get in the weeds and say it was rape or sexual assault, whatever the alleged crime was, those are two completely different things, Don. That's all I'm trying to say.
I understand, but again, if you just look at what you said, you basically have said he's a rapist.
No, I didn't. When did I say Brett Kavanaugh was a rapist? Open up your ears. I don't believe. Excuse me. I never said. Excuse me. On the air. All right, Don. I want you to listen very carefully because you people just hear. You people just hear what you want to hear sometimes if it fits your narrative. I never said Brett Kavanaugh was a rapist. I said he was accused, alleged of a sexual assault, which is factually accurate. There were no charges filed. He is not guilty of the crime, and now he is a judge in the Supreme Court. So please explain to me. No, please explain to me why you would think that I said he is a rapist when I never said that.
Because when you have time and you listen to today's show,
when I have time and when I listen to today's show. Don, I know what I said. Why don't you take some time and why don't you listen back to the show? Let me ask Sean, our producer. I'd like to put Sean on the air right now because Sean is an innocent bystander. Sean, have I ever called Brett Kavanaugh a rapist before? Please tell the audience.
Not to my knowledge.
Yes.
Nope.
Thank you, Sean. All right, we need to go back to the calls. Let's try to steal one more call. Thank you, Sean. Let's go to Joe. Joe, you're next on the Vegas Take. I got about 1 minute for you, Joe. What's going on? JD, I didn't call Brett Kavanaugh a rapist,
what's up,
did I?
Joe?
I didn't. Let's go to Joe. Joe, what's up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. To those of these people that are saying that there was no sexual relationship, a guy doesn't appoint you to some board that you have no
Here we go.
Relevant history to be able to do it for $70,000 unless he's getting a little something.
No relevant history. All right, let's hold on. Before you make
Clinton have 15 women
before
who have accused him of sexual assault.
Okay, so let me go to your ridiculous statements. First of all, I think Bill Clinton is a rapist and a horrible human being. So that throws away your stupid argument there. Well, I'm not here to let me finish. I'm not here to appreciate you or appease you. Okay, number one. And if you've been listening to the show, okay, if you've been listening, excuse me, what did you just say?
Because you're a lefty.
Because you're a lefty. Okay, get off the show, moron. That's about enough I've had of you. So number two, when we're talking about this relationship, we have no idea whether it was sexual or not. And by the way, you clearly, sir, have no idea. You're blinded by your hatred to the left, and you have no idea what this woman's college education was and what she had accomplished in her life to her late 20s. Why don't you go ahead and look that up? She didn't sleep her way to the top. And because you're a Republican and you like to call people lefties, you're blinded. You're blinded by your bias, and people like you disgust me.